Hi friends, you're back with me, Professor Girish Kukreja. Yes. So today what we'll be talking about is the synthesis of the lipids, which are the integral part of the cell membrane. And talk about a eukaryotic cell, a prokaryotic cell. The one major osmotic barrier of the cell which we talk about is your cell membrane. And we have studied that this particular cell membrane, it comprises of what is called as your phospholipids. And the major what you call as lipids present in the cell membrane. The major phospholipid types which are present are your glycerophospholipids, right? So if you remember, when we were in our lower standards, we used to draw a typical membrane as a polar head and two non-polar tails. If you remember, this was how we used to represent a lipid bilayer with a polar head and a non-polar, two non-polar tails. So this is how a typical phospholipid actually looks like, right? So this is what is called as your polar head. The head group, it refers to your polar head. And the two non-polar tails are these two what you call as fatty acids, which are esterified to the backbone of what is called as your glycerol. So this is the basic structure of a typical glycerophospholipid. So it comprises of a glycerol backbone, two fatty acid esters, a phosphate molecule, and the head group. Yes, this polar head comprises this also. Yeah, so it has this head group which forms the polar head, and these two non-polar what you call as your tail. Now synthesis of a typical what you call as glycerophospholipids involves the intermediate formation of phosphatidate or phosphatidic acid or 1,2-diacylglycerol 3-phosphate, which we saw in an earlier video. I'll share the link in the description box, where we had seen the synthesis of triacylglycerol, where we had seen the formation of a phosphatidic acid. So till phosphatidic acid, the pathway will remain the same. So either you can form phosphatidic acid in that particular way, or you can also form phosphoric acid by phosphorylation of 1,2-diacylglycerol. That is also one of the ways. The two fatty acids which are attached here, they may vary, but in most of the cases you will find that it is a non-written rule kind of a thing, that in a typical membrane, the first what you call is fatty acid which is there, it is saturated, and the second fatty acid which is there, it is a unsaturated fatty acid, though this may vary. Now here you will find that this typical phospholipid, it comprises or it is formed by combination of this 1,2-diacylglycerol, a phosphoric acid molecule, and a head group. So you have two alcoholic groups, and therefore there is a formation of a phosphodiester bond here. So there is formation of a phosphodiester here. Basically there is a central role of CTP or CDP rather, you can say. The basic role of these cytidine nucleotides, it was discovered by Eugene Kennedy, who for the first time came up that yes, it is this CDP which acts as the activator of one of the alcoholic groups, either of 1,2-diacylglycerol or of the head group. So basically there are two strategies for forming this particular glycerophospholipid. So talking about these two strategies, we have what you call as the strategy 1. Yes, so there are no complicated names for this, thank God. So we have the other one, that is your strategy 2. So the two basic strategies which are there for synthesis of glycerophospholipid. Now these strategies are not very different from each other. The basic difference being, the only difference being whether you are activating the alcoholic group of 1,2-diacylglycerol with CDP, or you are activating the alcoholic group of your head group with CDP. So if your 1,2-diacylglycerol is activated with CDP, and then the head group what you call as attacks here, and with the concomitant removal of CMP, you form the glycerophospholipid, it is your strategy 1. So all your prokaryotes, your bacteria, they employ this particular strategy for synthesis of their glycerophospholipids. In the second case, or in the second strategy, you have 1,2-diacylglycerol. Yes, so you have this 1,2-diacylglycerol, and here you have a head group that is activated with the CDP. So remember, the basic difference is that whether you have activated this with the CDP or here you have activated this as CDP diacyl glycerol. So whether you are activating the 1,2-diacyl glycerol with CDP, strategy 1. If you are activating your head group with CDP, it is strategy 2. Your eukaryotes, they utilize both strategy 1 and strategy 2 for synthesis of your different what you call as glycerophospholipids, whereas bacteria, they rely on the first strategy. So the first strategy, activate your what you call as 1,2-diacyl glycerol with attachment of CDP. The head group, alcoholic group will attack here, the CMP would be removed and there is formation of your glycerophospholipid. Or you, in the second strategy, you activate your head group with CDP. So the OH of your 1,2-diacyl glycerol will make an attack and now CMP will be replaced, released, and there will be formation of your glycerophospholipid, right? So remember the two strategies, and as I told, eukaryotes, they employ both the strategies, whereas prokaryotes, they go with your first strategy. Again, one more, strategy 1. Activation of 1,2-diacyl glycerol with CDP to form CDP diacyl glycerol. Head groups attacks here, CMP is removed, formation of glycerophospholipid. A strategy of all bacteria and also for synthesis of certain phospholipids in eukaryotes. Strategy 2, activation of head group with CDP and attack of this OH of 1,2-diacyl glycerol, removal of CMP, formation of glycerophospholipid. Strategy used only by certain eukaryotes for synthesizing certain what you call as your phospholipids. So strategy 2 is not the part of your prokaryotes. So stay tuned with me, Professor Girish Kukreja, for more in microbiology, biochemistry, metabolism and life science in general. Thank you.